Star Trek, the original series, reveals when Spock's father can appear in Strange New Worlds. When Star Trek, Strange New Worlds premiered, it set out to weave new stories around the pre-original series crew of the USS Enterprise while paying tribute to the legacy that Gene Roddenberry's vision left behind. One of the more intriguing elements has been the exploration of Spock's personal life, especially his romantic bond with Turing and his ongoing struggle between human and Vulcan heritage. Yet one towering figure from his family remains absent: Sarek, his father. As fans know, Sarek has long been one of the most fascinating recurring characters in the Star Trek canon. His strained yet deeply layered relationship with Spock echoes across decades of storytelling, shaping not only Spock's identity, but also the Federation's relationship with Vulcan itself. What makes this particularly tantalizing for Strange New Worlds is that Star Trek, the original series TOS, already gives us clues about when and how Sarek could naturally appear in the prequel timeline. By examining Spock's earliest on-screen stories, the groundwork for his father's entry is already in place. Sarek in TOS, a timeline of first appearances. Sarek makes his franchise debut in the TOS Season 2 episode Journey to Babel 1967. This is the first time audiences meet Spock's father, though his presence feels fully fleshed out from the start. In that episode, Sarek serves as Vulcan's ambassador to the Federation and is en route to Earth aboard the Enterprise for a diplomatic conference. His strained dynamic with Spock is instantly clear. Father and son haven't spoken in years, and Sarek disapproves of Spock's decision to join Starfleet instead of following Vulcan traditions. For viewers at the time, the reveal that Spock even had parents was surprising, but the tension between them added new dimensions to Spock's cool Vulcan demeanor. Later, Sarek reappears in the animated series in yesteryear and again in the films, including Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, and Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. His final and most emotional appearance came in Star Trek, The Next Generation's episode Sarek 1990, in which his advanced age and disease force him to finally show the vulnerability he had hidden from Spock for decades. All of this long-term storytelling traces its roots back to Journey to Babel. That episode is the fulcrum point. It shows us that before this encounter, Spock and Sarek were estranged, meaning something already went wrong in their relationship long before Kirk's command of the Enterprise. And since Strange New Worlds takes place in the years just before Kirk assumes that chair, the series exists in the perfect narrative pocket to dramatize how that rift began. Strange New Worlds set up for Sarek. Strange New Worlds has leaned heavily into Spock's dual identity, and the tension between Vulcan tradition and Starfleet duty has been a constant through-line. His romance with Turing is one expression of this, but his struggles with identity go much deeper. Sarek is the ultimate embodiment of that conflict. By the time of TOS, Sarek openly disapproves of Spock's choices. Yet Strange New Worlds presents us with a Spock who is only beginning to test his boundaries and question Vulcan customs. He's still early in his career, still trying to prove himself. This means the series is perfectly positioned to dramatize a story where Spock and Sarek first fall out, a disagreement so significant that by Journey to Babel, they are estranged. And here's where the original series gives us the key. Since Journey to Babel establishes that their silence has lasted years, Strange New Worlds is on the clock. The show's timeline falls directly within the period where the rift must have happened. If the writers want to remain faithful to canon, Sarek's appearance is not only possible but inevitable. Lessons from Journey to Babel. To understand how Sarek could appear, we need to look at what Journey to Babel tells us about his character and his relationship with Spock. 1. The rift began early. Sarek clearly states in the episode that he disapproved of Spock joining Starfleet and has not spoken to him since. That means his disapproval isn't new. It's rooted in events that occurred well before Kirk's 5-year mission. Strange New Worlds could depict those pivotal disagreements in real time. 2. Sarek's influence on Turing. Vulcan culture is deeply hierarchical, and Turing is shown to follow its traditions closely. If Sarek appears, it's possible he might interact with Turing, offering insights into Vulcan marriage customs and strengthening her resistance to Spock's human tendencies. This would enrich both characters' arcs. 3. The dual themes of duty and family. In Journey to Babel, Spock is torn between saving his father's life and fulfilling his duty as science officer. That conflict is a direct extension of their relationship. Strange New Worlds could plant the seeds of that tension by showing earlier moments where Spock must choose between Starfleet loyalty and Vulcan family expectations. What Sarek brings to Strange New Worlds. Adding Sarek to Strange New Worlds would do more than just deepen Spock's arc. It would connect the series more firmly to the wider Star Trek mythos. Here's why his arrival feels like a natural progression. Expanding Vulcan culture. The series has already explored Vulcan rituals, philosophy, and family structures. Introducing Sarek allows a closer look at Vulcan politics and diplomacy, especially as the Federation expands. Since Sarek is a Federation ambassador, his presence ties Vulcan cultural drama to larger galactic stakes. Bridging to Discovery and beyond, Sarek is already a recurring character in Star Trek Discovery, where he plays a key role in Burnham's upbringing. His appearance in Strange New Worlds would bridge continuity between these series, offering fans a consistent portrayal across multiple eras. Father-son themes that resonate. Family tension is a timeless narrative device, and few Star Trek relationships are as iconic as Spock and Sarek's. Bringing him into Strange New Worlds adds emotional depth, allowing the show to explore how Spock's strained bond with his father mirrors his struggle to reconcile human and Vulcan identities. Casting considerations. In Discovery, Sarek was portrayed by James Frain, whose cool yet authoritative take on the character won praise from fans. Whether Strange New Worlds continues with Frain or recast the role, the actor must balance the character's stoic Vulcan presence with the underlying love that Sarek often conceals. Because Strange New Worlds thrives on character-driven storytelling, it would benefit from a version of Sarek who is both intimidating and empathetic. Potential storylines for Sarek and SNW. How could Sarek's appearance play out? Several narrative pathways emerge. One diplomatic mission crossover. As an ambassador, Sarek could be involved in a Federation mission requiring the Enterprise's assistance. This would echo Journey to Babel while showing earlier chapters of his diplomatic career. Two clash over Spock's choices. A more personal story could depict Sarek confronting Spock over his Starfleet service. Perhaps Sarek insists Spock return to Vulcan for family or ceremonial obligations, setting the stage for the estrangement revealed in TOS. 3. Foreshadowing Journey to Babel. The show could craft an episode that directly foreshadows Journey to Babel, planting subtle details that would later pay off when Spock and Sarek reunite under Kirk's command. 4. Turing's involvement. Since Turing has a larger role in Strange New Worlds than in TOS, a storyline involving Sarek's influence on her perspective could intensify the pressure Spock feels in balancing his relationships. Why now is the perfect time? Strange New Worlds thrives on honoring TOS while offering fresh character work. By Season 2, the show has already expanded Spock's personal life more than any other prequel has dared. With each season covering key years before Kirk's command, the clock is ticking toward the inevitability of Spock's estrangement from Sarek. To ignore this moment would be to sidestep one of the defining elements of Spock's backstory. Furthermore, Sarek's presence would resonate beyond just continuity. He embodies the larger Star Trek themes of logic, diplomacy, and reconciliation. His relationship with Spock mirrors the Federation itself, a coalition of differences that must find harmony despite conflict. By weaving him into Strange New Worlds, the series can highlight those themes more powerfully than Eve.